Espero que você tinha um bom networking break. Na sequência, liderança de pensamento, em direção de uma única parada para sua frota flexível. Apresentado por Sergio Lecue, diretor de contas internacionais da ALD, Automotive América Latina.
Hello all, thanks for attending this session about how to implement a sustainable fleet in LATAM. I'm Sergio Lecue, I'm the Commercial Director of ALD in the LATAM region. And before talking about this interesting topic, let me just try to introduce quickly my company. ALD belongs to the Societe Generale Group. We are a lease company that today we are managing more than 1.7 million cars worldwide. We have the widest coverage in the world because we are attending today 59 countries. 43 countries are attended by our own affiliates, and 13 countries are covered by our local partners. Talking about Americas, we have a very significant presence in the region. We attend the most important countries from Canada, US, and Puerto Rico, thanks to our global alliance with Wheels, to the 13 countries in Latin America. So countries like Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Peru, and Colombia, which are attended by our own affiliates, and regions like Central America, which is attended by a rent leasing, one partner, or Uruguay and Argentina, which is attended by other partner, which is Autocorp. So at the end, big coverage, big Americas coverage, and as a result, more than 370,000 vehicles managed by our company, more than 1,600 clients, and 30% of them are international ones. In terms of structure, regional structure in LATAM, I would say that we have a fully commercial integration in order to provide an harmonized solution to our clients across the region. And this is something that is more and more demanded on client side. It's clear, the trend is clear, and this is because the clients realize that having this regional structure will bring more efficiencies to their operations and will facilitate the implementation of best practice, thanks to also to the communication between the different countries. So at the end, this is what we as ALD are providing, and basically we are working with our clients that are already demanded this regional solution. Concerning the market and the situation of the market, what can I say? That we all know now. We know that the microchip shortage continues, and we thought that probably after the pandemic, our expectations were that this shortage the impact of the microchip shortage will be reduced. But at the end, the Ukrainian war starts, and the question marks continues about the impact on cars, on new cars production. Okay, and in fact this is provoking that we need to deal with lack of stocks and increase of delivery times, and in some cases we are seeing that in LATAM some countries are it's unbelievable the average delivery time that we have. So this is in fact are not good news, because we still do not see the end of this, and when the situation can come back to normal. Additionally to that, and adding more pepper in the receipt, we have interest rates increasing, we have inflation booming, and in both cases, still don't know when it will stop. So since inflation is growing, interest rates are continue increasing until having a signal of normalization, that our expectations are that still the coming 3-4 months, we will not see any good signal on that side. So no very good news on this macroeconomic environment. The only point that could mitigate a bit the impact on corporate fleets would be that the private individual demands of new cars is reducing, and is reducing because basically the macroeconomic indicators that we mentioned before, and also because the banks are reducing the car loan offer because of they are realizing that they could face an increase of its risk profile. So at the end, this reduction of private individuals' demand could have a positive impact in terms of negotiations, direct negotiations with OEMs by corporates and by lease companies. So OEMs will need to look at the direct sales in a different manner that they did in 2021 when they focused basically on individuals. So with this new situation of less demand, they probably will restart to negotiate in a better manner, let's say, with us, putting us in the top of its priorities, and also restarting with this discounts policy that were reducing a lot during last year. So this is the only point that I think it could mitigate a bit this macroeconomic environment. And what else? Just say that we have that situation. So to overcome these problems, what we are seeing as clients, as fleet management providers, is that flexibility is becoming key on these challenging times. So we need to adapt our policies, our practices to the new reality, which is not easy. So we need to be very flexible and very fast to take decisions and to choose what is working and what is not working and move forward. So this is something I mentioned key in the fleet management market. So we as a provider, or you as a client, for sure need to have this in mind. Okay, concerning this flexibility, why we need to be flexible? Because clients are having more short and medium-term projects that need short and medium-term fleet solutions to fulfill their needs. So it's clear that they need to reduce terms, durations of the contracts, and also flexibility in order of early terminating some contracts. Other things, clients, when the situation is getting difficult, client needs to think in different projects of mobility. It's not now only a matter of having a car. We need to think in different mobility solutions that can mitigate the situation that we are facing. For having these innovative solutions, we need to be flexible also to adapt ourselves to these times. On that side, that sense, electrification is always a new project, a new mobility project. So at the end, we need to have this flexibility also to test the solution, because since electrification is still far to be common in the region, in LATAM, we as a fleet management solution, so you as a client need to test, to try to analyze if the solution fits with your needs or not, and afterwards moving to other steps of the project. So it's clear on that sense that having short-term projects, analyzing all the features, all the different information that we can get, and afterwards moving to be a bit more ambitious on that side. Okay, so flexibility for having these new projects for electrification. Also, in terms of fleet catalog, of course, we need to be flexible because availability of cars is becoming key to define which model we should choose or not. So So it's obvious that having 2 or 3 models only approved will limitate a lot our definition of which cars we will have. So it's better to open the definitions and to choose different models, more than 3, to fulfill this fleet policy. On that sense, and sometimes we do not realize that delivery time is important, not only because of the car will come earlier, this is obvious, but also because we need to guarantee the TCO. And what is happening? If the delivery time getting longer, we will be at risk of future updatings of price list. And we are seeing that with this inflation, car makers are updating prices once a month or once every 2 months at least. So the sooner the car comes, the most guaranteed the TCO would be. So this is also important, and sometimes we do not have this in mind. So important to broader our catalog of car models. Okay, concerning electrification, I mentioned before about this flexibility. What we can say, we all know that electrification is a reality, even more in a most mature markets. For instance, in Europe last year, market share of electric cars achieved more than 20% of new car sales. So this is something that it's a reality in Europe, and it will become a reality in LATAM in the near future. The key question is when it will be possible to have an electrification of our fleet in LATAM. So first thing that we need to analyze are the barriers that we are facing if we want to electrify our fleet in LATAM. We all know that it's not easy, but we also know that we as a fleet management company are having more and more projects on the road, so we have more information than we have last year. So we have different solutions. We are testing different solutions, so we are able to provide to you at least another approach than the one that we or you have 1 year ago. Okay, in terms of barriers, long distance between the cities, it's difficult it's something that make it difficult. The most difficult the implementation or the adoption of electric vehicles. Lack of infrastructure, this is key. We all know that there is almost nothing or a very few public charging stations. We all know that, so we need to find a solution. And also TCO and because the cost of electric cars is still very high compared with the ICE cars. Why? Basically because governments are not incentivizing that through a positive taxation policy. It's few countries in LATAM, only I could say probably Mexico and Costa Rica are the ones with a most clear taxation policy with electric cars, and also because there are few models in the region by category. So at the end of the day, there is almost no competition between the car makers in terms of TCO because this lack of offer. So basically, these are the 3 main barriers that we see in terms of electrification. What can we do? Which is our feedback on that regard? Concerning the charging infrastructure, we know that public infrastructure is still small, super small, I would say. So there are some different things that are done on our side. What we are doing, we are having some negotiations with energy distributors in order to try to incentivize the installations of chargers in different points where we are operating with our clients. This is one side. On the other side, concerning the projects itself, what we see is that today is very difficult, or it's probably most difficult, not very difficult, most difficult to install the chargers are drivers' buildings. Why? Because the building community is still far from understand the solution. So I suffer it in Brazil, and in fact it's the reality that people still are not very concerned about chargers. They are only seeing and putting barriers to have the correct installation of these chargers. So at the end, to install these chargers at drivers buildings, it's becoming a very difficult thing in LATAM. On the other side, we see that projects where we can install the chargers at clients' premises are working very well. So we do think that these kind of projects are the ones that should be implemented faster in the region. Okay, so when we talk about last mile projects, when we talk about distribution or food and beverage companies, these kind of companies where the car is sleeping at clients' premises at least twice or three times per week, are the ones that would be implemented quicker. Okay. On the other hand, if we talk about sales reps and so on, depends on the driver's profile. We can implement it or the electrification, or still we need to wait a bit. I mean, if we can make the drivers go to our premises and having the charge of the car at least once a week, it's possible to develop the project. If not, it would be difficult because installation at buildings is becoming difficult in many of the cases, and public infrastructure is also very small. In terms of cost, what we are seeing that LCVs, small trucks, electric pickups, their TCO are more feasible if we compare with ICE cars than other passenger cars. So in terms of TCO, we think that we are closer in these commercial vehicles than in passenger cars. Additionally, what we are doing on that side, we are having some agreements with different OEMs in order to purchase in advance some cars. Okay, for what? Basically to guarantee the price to you as a client, and also to provide a temporary solution in order to make the test drive of the electric vehicle. Okay, we know that sometimes it's difficult to transform the whole fleet in one shot, and sometimes will make no sense. So probably the best solution is to implement just a few cars in short or medium term, analyze deeply the performance of that solution, and afterward take a decision. So this is what we are doing in that sense, to help you to understand better this electrification solution. Okay. Last thing about this, talking about the different barriers that we have in the market itself as macroeconomic barriers, talking about electrification specifically and the different things that that we are facing today. So it's clear for us as a fleet management company that we need to have a 360 degrees approach with you, which means that we need to consider the whole picture of your fleet to propose to transform to green fleets, to electrificate your fleet. It's clear for us that it's not only a matter of choosing the vehicle. It's much more than that. We need to analyze your driver's profile. We need to analyze your fleet policy. We need to analyze the routes of your fleet in order to see and to understand if green fleets make sense or not, or does not make sense. We also need to train your drivers, because driving electric cars is much different than ICE cars. We need to propose different models concerning your needs. TCO has many factors that impact the final cost of the solution, and need to have it's not, sometimes it's not obvious. Some things related to chargers, to cost of the energy, to other things that need to be taken into consideration to finally find the real TCO. Okay, things like I don't know, the charger, because the charger is not obvious to have the slow charger or to have the fast one. Depends on your needs. It's needed one or other. These kind of things need to be taken into consideration. So at the end of the day, having this 360 degrees approach will help you to implement the best solution, and helping us also to know more about your fleet and your needs. This is key, and this is how the approach of the fleet management company are changing. So as I mentioned, not only having a car or a modification, some things about the fleet policy. There are different things that are related to this electrification that need to be taken into consideration. So this is something that where we are working hard also with HR departments in order to analyze the reimbursement of the cost of the energy to the drivers. All kind of things need to be taken into consideration. Okay, so basically that's it. Hope you get some good inputs about where are we in terms of electrification. But important also to mention that the first step was overcome. Now we are at the second one, where some projects are already on the street. We are already analyzing, getting some information, and happy to share with you in order to discuss further implementations in the region. Okay, thank you very much, and let's keep in touch. Bye.